Exactly 4 weeks from today are the midterm elections. 4 weeks. And we're closely watching several tight Senate races, each one of them capable of tipping the balance of power. Republicans need a net gain of one single seat to take back control of the Senate. Right now, polling suggests we could potentially see a draw, with both sides flipping a seat and Democrats maintaining their 50-50 majority, if you will. But this October, we still don't know what game-changing surprises may be in store. October delivers those. We're already witnessing a major shakeup in Georgia's crucial Senate race. A new poll there shows Senator Raphael Warnock basically tied with the Republican challenger, Herschel Walker, after bombshell accusations that the clearly anti-abortion candidate paid for a girlfriend's abortion and then urged her to get a second one. New polling from Emerson College in the Hills shows Senator Warnock up by 2 points, 48-46, but that's within the margin of error. The Real Clear Politics average shows Warnock up by almost 5 points. Republicans are rallying behind Herschel Walker and defending him. Today, the GOP's Senate campaign chairman, Senator Rick Scott, and Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas were in Georgia to campaign with Walker. He continues to deny the accusations. He claims Democrats are trying to distract voters from what he calls the real issues, like inflation and crime.
Right now, you can see what they're doing. They'll do whatever it takes, say whatever they have to say, because they want this seat right here. But I don't think they know that they woke up a bear. Hey, I'm not just a dog now, I'm a bear.
In Pennsylvania's Senate race, the Democrat John Fetterman is leading the Republican candidate Mehmet Oz. It would be an enormous flip for Democrats. But Fetterman is facing serious questions about his health after he suffered a stroke in May. Fetterman sat down with NBC News for his first face-to-face interview since he nearly died. He insists to our own Dasha Burns that he's still fit for office. Notably, Fetterman needed a closed captioning monitor to read the reporter's questions because he has trouble understanding people speaking, even still. He also occasionally had trouble finding words and admitted that the lingering effects of the stroke are still a challenge.
Every now and then I'll miss a word, every now and then. Or sometimes I'll maybe mush two words together. But as soon as I have captioning, I'm able to understand exactly what's being asked. But even after the stroke, immediately after that, I was able to read everything and I haven't lost any memories or anything like that. It's just really the lingering issue that I have.
Well, Mehmet Oz has criticized Fetterman for agreeing to just one debate and has accused him of hiding from voters during his stroke recovery. Steve Kornacki's at the big board to break down where these Senate races stand with just 4 weeks to go. Hey, Steve.
Hey, Shep. Yeah, and you're right. Republicans needing that net gain of one seat. Let's break it down this way. Here's where the Republicans are playing offense. 5 Democratic-held seats. Republicans trying to flip. As you mentioned, there is one now in Nevada where Republicans do have the lead in the polling average. That would be a net gain of 1 for the Republicans if they could get that, and then they would have to hold on to all of their seats. Here's 5 vulnerable Republican seats Democrats are targeting, and as you mentioned, in Pennsylvania, Fetterman, the Democrat, still leading there. So if this is how the election turned out, with Republicans flipping Nevada, Democrats flipping Pennsylvania, that would leave things where they are, 50-50, Kamala Harris breaking the tie for Democrats. If this were to happen, Republicans would need to find another flip in here, whether it's Georgia, Arizona, New Hampshire, or somewhere else.
Hey, Steve, what about the president's approval rating? How big a factor is that for the midterms?
Yeah, I mean, typically that is the key indicator where a president stands coming into the midterm. You see Biden right now, 28 days out, his average approval rating just under 43%. Let's put that in context. Modern presidents at this same point, their first midterm, and you can see Trump, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, all in basically the same range that Biden is now. George W. Bush, the one exception a year after 9/11 when he was extremely popular. And what those low numbers have translated into have been big House losses. You can see each one of these presidents, Trump, Obama, and Clinton, lost the House in their first midterm. For Biden, it would take a lot fewer losses than this for his party to lose the House. A Republican gain of 5 seats would give them control of the House.
Steve Kornacki, thank you.